Okay, let's get this stream started in New Vegas way, which involves trippy mode, and obviously going through the launcher. For some reason, New Vegas does not like to use the game capture function of OBS. Yet it did for like the first few, so it's just fussy. I mean, it's probably a consequence of being Game Bro. I mean, it's a pre-streaming generation. Then again, Skyrim was as well. I don't think... Was streaming a big thing in 2011? Or more precisely in like 2009, whenever Skyrim's development was started. I don't know. Because it clearly wasn't when New Vegas was developed. Because otherwise it would be like stream friendly, which it isn't. Uh-oh, why did I save on the strip? Does the radio unmute it? Does like music unmute itself like it does in Fallout 4? No. Yeah, it is Friday. I mean, oh, music. I'll put the music back on. I just really struggle without music. And it's not because I can just hear the mic's feed going through. That's funny. The music didn't start in New Vegas. That's funny. Fortunate, but funny. Oh dear, am I actually down to... I don't think I was down to slugs. Anyway, it is New Vegas, and there is other New Vegas stuff happening on Fridays, or sometimes Saturdays. But, yeah. Lasers, plasma, pistols, grenades. We've got it all. Kings are fighting a fog.
Hungry?
But,
thirsty?
you know, Fallout 4 New Vegas gives out like updates on Friday, although sometimes Saturday. Don't know why. I mean, it's a you know, assuming that whoever does the updates is in America, that's only 6 to 8 hours behind. It's behind UK time, which is where I am. So why is it that they somehow can't get updates out until like you know, early to middling in Saturday? I mean, I always look forward to their updates. They're always, you know, the Friday one's a little less so than Monday. I actually prefer the devlog sort of stuff. It's just, but that's me. I'm a bit weird like that. But then again, I also understand the technical aspects of modding a lot more than the average person. Because I've dabbled in it. I'm not good at it by any means. I'm terrible at it, but I understand the basics. And I picked up a lot of some weird-ass tricks from them. I mean, you know, I think them streaming their work is a really good thing. Unfortunately, Fallout 4 New Vegas is yet to do a single stream. Maybe they're as personal as me and they don't want to even go anywhere near it. Who knows? But they are... What's funny is they're both open and closed about their development, which is quite unusual. I mean, they're open in that they constantly, you know, without fail, they give weekly updates. None of the other projects do that, but they don't stream. I mean, a lot of what you see on Capital Wasteland, you've probably seen in someone's stream, like Xanthia, Naf, 666. You know, you normally will have seen someone streaming it. At least for the world building side of it. I'm not asset building, I don't know why. I'm also not a particular fan of the sort of concept art streaming. I mean, especially this late into a, you know, a lot of these projects have been around long enough to the point where, you know, they aren't just pretty pictures. I mean, It's always good concept art, it's always really nice, but it's still concept art. It's not... It's nothing tangible. So I'm not the biggest fan of concept art. I mean, early on it gives a scope of the project and what they'll do and etc, etc, etc. And internally it's very useful for sort of getting everyone on the same page of what something will look like. Say, for example, the writing staffs, writes up a scenario, a location, and the concept artist would then draw said location. Oh no, within coyotes. But it's, it's kind of, it's part of definitely part of a development process. But it's also a case of, it's kind of not really, I feel it doesn't give much hope in a project when they're still relying on concept art later on to show off to like the lurkers and the followers and all the other stuff. It strikes me as a little like they haven't got anything new. I'd rather see, even if it's like a rather boring shot, I would rather see just something about implementation, just like rough dialogue, or just like a shot of, even a shot of a tree, a tree in the wasteland, and like, take for example, let me just pause it, like, I'm just trying to look for a particular, Camp Golf, there's too much going on here, but, for example, a shot like, gotta get a bit closer to the wall, for example, a shot like that, or more precisely like that, very little going on in it, but that would, keep me more enthused about a project than concept art would. That's just me. I've always been a bit unusual. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just say I was in school. I was the one with no friends, like at all. No. Well, good grades. I mean, my grades were some of the highest, but I was in the top 10% of grades in my year, but for most things anyway. But, I wasn't popular by any means. Hell, I was a subject of bullying. And that's that's just how it was. I was kind of the target because I was different. Because, that's what bullying basically is. It's picking on someone who's different than you. Which is typically the masses picking on the minority. And this isn't like racist minority or majority. No, this is just like normal people. Like, if you don't think the same as them, like for example, I do not have a smartphone. At all. I don't want one, I don't need one, no one needs one. I don't want one, I never want one. But everyone in my, when it came to exam times, everyone had to give it a phone in so they couldn't cheat from it. Like, yeah, because my phone could cheat. I was like the only one to have a normal phone. It was quite disturbing. It was one of those just unusual things. But that's, but to me, I just don't find, but back to the original subject, I just don't find concept art that. It just doesn't fill me with too much hope later on. Early on, it's essential. For example, you would have a concept art of, say, this camp, for example, just using this camp as an example. You would have the shot sort of sort of that shot to sort of give you the impression of what's going on. But later in development, I want to see, like, the camp coming together, like a placeholder caravan, for example, a placeholder car, a placeholder table. I'd rather see a crude world space with placeholder assets than a pretty bit of art, basically. That's just me, though. Wow, they're more inaccurate than I am. Wow, that pulsar left a little, but I do like it. The riot shotgun is such a useful weapon, but the beam background. Actually, Load of beanbag rounds up. I don't even know why these exist. I really don't. Let's be in the Boulder City music zone. And the world's most wacky railway. I mean, seriously. This isn't like it's collapsed and... But this is just like this really, really bendy, curved... It's like whoever put the railways in New Vegas had no idea what railways were like. Obviously it can have some like more extreme slopes because it's a smaller game world, but still, it doesn't have to be like wacky angles everywhere. Like, it doesn't need to be canted like almost like 30 degrees one way. That would just, a train would fall right off that. It's kind of a case of, there's a case between making it real, you know, seem right and look right in a game world, and making it look right realistically, and that has neither. You know, trains are always then again, trains are always one of those things that just does not work particularly well in a game world. Because by very nature, a train is long. A 2-car freight train just looks ridiculous. You know, because freight trains often go on for miles. It's not unusual for them to go on for a mile. You know, 10 plus cars is completely normal. Less than that is very rare. If 2 cars is enough for a passenger train, you know, as long as it's like sort of 2 actual coach cars, rather than like a pure engine and a carriage, that doesn't work. You don't see that. Will she be in her office? That's the question. My answer is probably not. No. She has a habit of not being in her office.
Hello?
Oh wow, she's actually in her office. Trying to... I don't know, trying to sit on a chair. Gotta love NPC action.
Report. Is Mr. House still... Then that's one more nuisance we won't have to worry about. The brass have been throwing around the idea of having the president... With our recent achievements, they finally feel secure enough to stage the day. Several years ago, we managed... It was a crushing victory, but no one's heard a peep from the Brotherhood since. But recently, we've had scouts go missing in an... I want you to find them. Now, just because you secured the aid of the Khans, assuming they don't try to kill us, don't think these are people that both hate us and outgun us.
Except the Brotherhood are willing to compromise.
After the battle, it was a mistake, to be sure, but some of our people think they had some means of conveyance, like the vertebrate. I think that they found some place to hide. As I said, our scouts... Dismissed. Has the Brotherhood been found?
No. I'll go back to the Brotherhood again. Because I know there is a way with McNamara to get a peace treaty between them.
Signed a treaty with the Great Khans. Guess you can never have...
Yeah, the fact that the Brotherhood are willing to do that says something about them. You know, even though they hate the NCR, they're still willing to go with them. I mean, to be honest, the whole Brotherhood support... I can never remember the way out. You know, I can never... You know, I just can't understand... You know, the Brotherhood would not side with the Legion. Yes, the Legion doesn't use technology, that's like the one benefit of. But the Brotherhood doesn't do slaving. You know, it doesn't do slave shit. And of course, that's what the Legion does. You know, so of course, the Brotherhood wouldn't go with the Legion, they would just... The only reason they would fight with the Legion at Hoover Dam is because they don't want, you know, because they want to hit the NCR. And that's the only reason they would. Convince them out of that, and they would happily side with NCR to Because Siege's Legion is just as bad, if not worse, than any other option. Arguably, even the Enclave's a better option. You know, even from like a Brotherhood perspective, I would see the Enclave as a better option than the Legion. Because at least it's the Enclave, you know, isn't as bad. I mean, you know, they don't go around murdering, butchering entire towns and sticking them up on crosses to die a slow death. When the Enclave butchers a town, the Enclave kills them. Doesn't just leave them strung up there to slowly die. Oh, little odd detail on the arse end of nowhere. Oh. Oh, stop spazzing around with paranoia. Death Squad spawning. What the f... He spazzed off when he saw me. I can't even remember what all my shotguns are on. Fearless Legionary Assassin. Just runs in like an idiot. Oh, that extremely overpowered weapon. I actually can't. 5, that's my shotgun. This is what you get for not playing for a week because of bloody snow. Now, I hate snow, I really do. It's... You know, it's very pretty to look at, but the second you have to go anywhere near it, it becomes an issue. You know, when you're in a country that's not used to something, for example, Britain and snow, the whole country shuts down. It's just the way it is. Wind Brahmin. Going some speed. Perfect. Blah blah. And that will be perfect for wasting these rounds. Beanbag rounds. Well done, Bats. You actually managed to hit with a 25% chance. Now, is that the music making those what sounds like distant explosions, or is that like some bloody grenade nut going up, having a fight? Can never tell. I would assume it's some grenade nut having a fight. So I'm looking, and when it comes to the big modding project I'm looking forward to the most, I mean, I can't actually say. I mean, Sky Oblivion will be a nostalgia trip. I mean, hopefully it'll recapture that whole feeling I got when I played Oblivion for the first time. And as a point of reference, Oblivion was my first Bethesda RPG, and it was on PS3. So, you know, it's my first one, and as a result, it sort of holds a special place just for that. I mean, that's before I came to enjoy it for its hilarious voice acting, potato-faced humans, etc. New Vegas was my first Fallout, but you know, it doesn't hold the same kind of nostalgia as Oblivion does. I mean, well, let's face it, I'm still playing New Vegas now. I don't really play Oblivion all that often, because Oblivion systems are just a little too painful. It'd be like playing Fallout 3. I don't play Fallout 3 because its systems are just painful. I play it through Tale of Two Wastelands, you know, because really is just less painful that way. You know, I guess if I started on Fallout 3 it wouldn't be as much of an issue, but if I started on Fallout 3 I might have not got New Vegas. I probably would have, but I might have not. Much like if I started on Morrowind, I definitely wouldn't have got any sequels, because just holy crap Morrowind systems are just awful. You know, it's lore, brilliant. You know, it's world, you know, it's setting and work, you know, world lore, all that sort of stuff. Quests, brilliant, but holy crap is it let down by its dismal systems. You know, some people said traditional, I call them dated. Because they're just dated, they're painful and uncomfortable. There's no fun to be had with them. You know, I'm not the kind of person who wants to micromanage a fucking build all the time. You know, I'm not a micromanager, I don't like that sort of stuff. It bugs the living crap out of me having to micromanage shit. Which is why with a settlement I just set it up and leave it there. That's all I do. You know, that's all I do, I just set it up and leave it there. Yay! Into the yellow-coloured Enclave bunker. Seriously, the only difference between this bunker and the Enclave one is the colour of lights is yellow instead of blue. That's really the only difference. That wussy laser pistol sound. I don't like the sound of the lasers in. Did I get turned around? I did, I got turned around. I just don't like that wussy laser pistol sound, it sounds so wussy. Well, although it does correctly correspond to how pathetic and weak the weapon is. No, that's the wrong one. I'm not doing that fucking computer virus thing, because that's just tedious. That's arguably the most boring quest I had ever done. I can't even talk to...
Hello, Veronica.
Ah, that's
How goes your
one.
mission?
We'll know in a second. I wanted to talk to you.
Veronica, tell me this isn't about...
Yes, goddammit, it is. But you're gonna hear me out this time.
Oh, dear.
You've been through this.
The things I've seen now, other groups succeeding where we fail, it's not too late for us.
We've outlasted the end of the world. We'll outlast these upstarts.
Waiting in a hole for everyone else to die.
If we must.
This is a dead end for us.
I see no evidence of that. Nor do I see anyone out there with a solution.
I love how they actually have an icon.
How could you? You're too
For
scared to look.
bloody
Let's go.
retcon.
We're wasting our time.
And you vet excellent NCR, which means this is a post-war icons, because that's obviously the two-headed bear of NCR. So why the... You know, why would you even mark retcon as a problem?
Back again, I see.
Oh!
Please make...
That's what I had to do. Oh! The fucking Volcro. I thought... Oh yes. I got them, I just didn't return to the scene.
I'd slap him around, but he stood at my parents' wedding. What'd you think of Mr. House?
I do hate a suit. Ugh, I missed the conversation, and of course I can't restart it because it's a weird companion one. Ugh. Yeah, the companion ones just have a weird trigger, and you just basically got to load. Reload.
I'd slap him around, but he stood at my parents' wedding. Plus, he used to make excuses to get me out of my punishment when I'd slept through head scrub. The Brotherhood's strategy for survival worked back when we had a larger force. We're a tiny splinter from a shrinking group. We don't take on new members, but we're... He's a stubborn old man, but if he sees some indisputable sign, we're on the... That's my question to the Elder. All these... To keep it out of people's hands? That clearly hasn't worked. To defend... We're fighting a war for a lost cause. If we're gonna survive, we have to find a role in society.
The thing is, the Brotherhood would win in a lot of
members.
conflicts. You know, lore... Gameplay-wise they wouldn't, but lore-wise they would. Because power armor is such an advantage.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing
Maybe
is...
something that shows the Brotherhood will fail. The only thing that gives... Huh. Our elder before McNamara, he had a nose for recovering. There were a few he only trusted me with. I could... There's a comm terminal not too far from here.
What is this? Veronica brings an outsider into our home, then has a private audience with the Elder? The two of you may have... Veronica has always twisted the Founder's principles to her own ends.
I think they were supposed to walk
Sorry
off
about
towards
that.
the door.
Just because I love them, doesn't mean some of them aren't assholes.
Yeah, I get the feeling one.
How may I
This
assist?
so-called nearby terminal is not nearby. Okay, this might be one of those things where it's relative.
Good to see you. Alive, that is. Really? Why don't you go tell the Elder the good news?
You look tired, Ibsen.
Ugh, going back to the Elder again.
Back again, I see. Good news for a change. Moreover, I've been going over the Scouts' reports, and keep coming up with the same conclusion. The NCR is not the threat I've believed it to be.
Here we go.
We should not have had to rely on your help in this crisis. People called me a hero after what happened at Helios. That ends now. I will undo... Please, take this. It is a small... This key will allow you to use our safe house to the northeast. Welcome, outsider. Welcome. With the surface open to us once again, Arden's already started talk of sending a force out to attack. What can I do? You've certainly earned the right, but I'm... Exceptional individuals, like... While your actions up to this point have been commendable, I'm
And
afraid
fixing
they
your
don't quite
bunker doesn't
qualify for
count.
such a service. However, I do... As one of our patrols discovered, the mutants just to the northeast have... However, this turn of events could also be an opportunity. As the inhabitants have now proven themselves hostile, no more respect will be accorded them. I want you to head up to the summit of... It will allow us to tap into the radar and other If we're going to operate on the surface...
And this is apparently a bigger task
Greetings,
than
my
fixing your fucking bunker.
I hope I can be... I suppose it was only a matter of time. We've given up our claim to Helios, and we don't have any interest... Perhaps it's time for a new strategy. Go to the NCR commander and tell her the Brotherhood is willing to put aside our enmity for the time being.
Colonel Wall.
Further,
That's
tell her that we
weird.
are willing to send troops to aid in their coming defense of the dam.
Well... Okay. Go to Black Mountain, deal with that. I think this quest is bugged, or at least the markers for it have. Then we can ask the immortal question, how many beanbag rounds does it take to kill Super Mutant? The answer will probably be thousands, because that's just fantastically weak. But one of the two. You know, they may get there eventually. You know, I do love the whole crappy chain link fence protects top secret military bunker thing. I mean, because it's kind of a well-known fact that chain link fences don't stop anyone climbing them. I mean, I have seen, in reality, not on TV, people actually climb a barbed wire fence just like that. You know, with the lip going out. Get over it. You know, I've seen people do it. It was when I was an air cadet and someone kicked I think it was a football, went over the fence, so someone had to climb over it to get... And what's funny is they managed it easily. Ew, centaurs. Many rounds later. Oh no! Mo has respawned. Oh, Centaur was repulsive. I mean, the one or not Dogtooth made for Road to Liberty. Ugh, you know, and hence Capital Wasteland. Oh, holy crap, that was fugly. I mean, it was brilliantly made, and it completely, you know, it's fugly. It's my response when I first saw it was, that's disgusting. It's perfect. Because centaurs are supposed to be disgusting. You know, that what happens when super mutant goes wrong. You know, instead of becoming a super mutant, they become a centaur, which is actually worse. Those super mutants don't make you sick at the sight of them. Ugh, these bland cliffs. That's another thing, Oblivion didn't even have like rocks on its cliffs. Even though I don't know if Oblivion was newer or not. But regardless, it was not pretty. Oh. Obnoxious kill cam. Yeah. I'm not fighting a minigun head on. That's just stupid. Oh, that. Oh, great. There's an enclave patrol nearby. Yum. You know, it amazes me that the blood sausage type item isn't classed as cannibalism. Yeah, because it can come from animals as well, but it's clear, and like thin red paste also clearly is cannibalism. Oh, that'll be the enclave. Yep. The question is, who will win? Look. Oh. Doing a crappy concrete sledgehammer. It looks like the Enclave's won. Or not. It's hard to say. Why did that one whip a flamer out of its butt? Well, judging by how much that mutant exploded, I think it's safe to say that mutant was pretty crippled. Oh, we're here. We need to... Which one of these is the one I want? This one. Yeah, here we go.
Hello. Could you please please direct me to Mistress Tabitha? Thank you very much. My internal clock says it's been 6 years, 52 days, 40 minutes, and 13 seconds since I last spoke.
By the time you said that, it will now be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You know, that counting in seconds is never helpful. Get my point. You know, it's kind of my point is that counting...
Rhonda? Is that you?
It is, Mistress Tabitha. How I've missed you so. This stranger here fixed me up right as rain. Is she a friend of yours?
I don't know how to thank you for bringing Rhonda back to me, stranger. Here, take this. It's just such a shock to...
Mistress Tabitha, we should be heading off. Our journey has been much delayed, but we can catch up if we hurry. Come along now.
Yes, Rhonda.
And that's, I think, the first case where something is subservient to a Mr. Handy. And which is funny considering Mr. Handy is kind of supposed to be like, well, a butler bot, I think would be better. You know, butler bot would probably be the best description of a Mr. Handy. So it's unusual it's something subservient to it. Now, where are these big chests? Why anyone would have 3 varmint rifles, I don't know. Ugh! Something went seriously wrong now, it went back to default font. Police pistol? No. Police pistol's an unusual find. Considering that's DLC, you're not supposed to find it in them. I mean, I'm not complaining, it's a better it's a decent pistol, but... Oh, great. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, there's a little dirt mound on the floor. At least I can make it over the fence. Oh, that's sheer. That's an unclimbable cliff there. This, however, isn't. This is a climbable cliff. I think it's the one I came up. I love how it sounds like there's a storm coming, but there's absolutely no sign of bad weather. Like, there's a few different clouds and that's it. You have to admit that Fallout 4 did the weather a hell of a lot, you know, like a hell of a lot better than like the earlier one. But that's just the benefit of the engine, I'm sure. Or the remakes will have much better weather. I'm not used to this one, I think. Yeah, it's actually got the marker on it, which is unusual.
A few of us wanted to thank you for being such a good friend to the Brotherhood. So we've set aside some of our... We'll leave a few of them in that footlocker in the corner every so often. The Paladins scoff at using recycled ammo, so...
And they don't just give you bad ammo, they give you lots of ammo.
Hey, Ramos.
You're like a really good source of energy ammo, but when you've got a Gauss rifle that burns through 5 a shot, it ends up not being that much.
Greetings, my friend. Yes, we've already started receiving telemetry from it. Now then, it is my great honor to be... I'm afraid a formal ceremony was out of the question, given... I had the Knights refurbish a suit of our power armor for your use. Now, I suppose... First, let's go over how to put it on. There. I think you've got the knack of it now. I've also given the order that all of our equipment be made of... You're a member of the Brotherhood. Lastly, you will be allowed to come and go as you please. I just ask that you keep the Brotherhood...
Yay! I can go back to the NCR again. Actually, might as well go to this. Do this first. Because I'm not... Nah. Got the... Nah. I think Fox... Let's just see which one Fox... Oh yeah, definitely not. Foxtrot's the one out in the arse end of nowhere. You know, one where I'm pretty sure I have never once seen a Deathclaw. Up in that green belt. I don't think there's anything up there that's remotely Deathclaw-y. Cazadors! Now they're there. Now they're there. That was sudden. Sorry, I just got to zoom in on the moon. What's funny, if it wasn't for the glow around it, I think that's actually a higher res moon than the one in Fallout 4. That, my scope's not as good. That was sudden. For some reason, nights seem to get like a hell of a lot brighter. I guess you could say that's the night vision your eyes adapting to it. I mean, to be honest, with the glow that moon's putting out, and the glow of a perpetual full moon, and the glow of a bloody new Vegas, I think it's safe to say that there would be some light pollution. And since there is no option for a flashlight, actually, I mean, the Pip-Boy light doesn't count, that's shit. It's actually the worst light I've ever seen. But, you know, there's a point where if you're playing a game, you don't want it to be pitch black. I mean, some people do. I don't understand these people who have these, like, super dark EMBs, but don't have any way, don't actually have a way of have no way of actually seeing. Having a super dark EMB that's more realistic is fair enough when you've got a light that's actually useful. But with a Pip-Boy light, it's so useless. It basically just hampers your ability to go inside and to go outside at night. If you don't have like some form of proper light. Which causes a problem. Flame rounds. Actually quite powerful. Dog meat. Cactus. Food and drink in New Vegas is so useless. I mean, it's bad. It's better than like in Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim vanilla food is unbelievably useless. I think young people.
I'm not even making a dent with this.
Who gets to clean up all this blood? Me, that's who.
Credit where it's due, this Enclave soldier put up a good fight. On its own. Yeah, there's some. Yep. Much better. Now I actually have proper armor. Can't beat proper armor. So there's no reason not to use power armor. If you, especially in like Fallout 3, there was absolutely no reason not to use it. I mean, in New Vegas, it's a case of it's heavy and you don't have not particularly much that you can repair it with. But to be honest, that's the same. The same goes for like combat armor. To be honest, you don't find enough of it to repair it. In Fallout 3, though, power armor was, especially T45. T45 was pretty common. The Enclave ones were ridiculously common. Like, every bloody enemy seemed to have them. And because Enclave outposts were everywhere, it never became an issue that repairing it was an issue. Because you could pretty much always find another full set everywhere. It's kind of that really strange point into Fallout 3 was that there was just power armor everywhere. And if you never completed Broken Steel, that supply was never ending. Now I know I saw ants. I know ants are here. I know it because I saw one. Flechette rounds are a good long-range option. I mean, if you only have one type of weapon in New Vegas, the shotgun is definitely the type of weapon you want. Because it's pretty universal. You've got regular rounds for most enemies, slugs for tougher enemies and longer range, Dragon Breath rounds for super close range combat, Flechette rounds for longer range combat but still doing good damage, Pulse slugs for taking out robots and power armor. You've got so many different types of rounds. Yeah, you don't have your standard generic armor-piercing ones, but technically all shotgun rounds get like the 10 armor-piercing from like shotgun surgeons, so you've got like 10 damage threshold reduction done on every shotgun, which on the slugs guarantees that they'll hit for full damage, for heavy damage. Regular rounds, I think. Problem is, shotgun rounds are not that common early on. They're not the most common type of ammunition, that's the only problem with them. Small price to pay, though. I think it's a small price to pay for how useful they are. Especially the 12 gauges are not common early on. Later on they're a bit more common, but there's still a case of you've probably got to buy a load of them. But you can't argue with that utility. Now, energy weapons tend to be pretty damn useless. Because plasma's harder to hit, pretty hard to hit with because of a very slow projectile. The laser's piss weak. And all of the higher grade energy weapons burn through ammo at an alarming rate. Because they all do like multiple all ammo per shot for good ones, like the tri-beam, the plasmas.
Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
They end up burning through a truly shocking amount of ammo very quickly. And that's kind of a problem. Nope, that wasn't you. And he's just sent a look.
I sure hope I get to meet President Kimball.
The Brotherhood guy said that.
Has the Brotherhood been found?
You're looking right at one, but yes.
And you believed them? Do you have any idea how long we've been fighting?
There's
those
one right
bastards?
next to you.
Ugh, Crocker will have a field day with this. He'll want to establish diplomatic relations. But we've got more important matters to attend to. The President is due to arrive soon, and we're sure the Legion won't. I want you to assist the security detail we've prepared for the President. His safety is critical to maintaining the men's fighting spirit. Go up to the Visitors Center and speak to Ranger...
Yeah, doesn't seem to notice the fact that Paladin Todd is just standing here.
I sure hope I get to meet President Kimball. I sure hope I get to meet President Kimball.
Who apparently wants to meet President Kimball for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Now, this is a quest you definitely want to do in daylight. I mean, it makes no sense that his visit comes in the middle of the night. It really doesn't. Lots of NCR here.
I've heard of you. I'm glad you're here to help us out. We've got a lot to do to prepare for the President's visit. Are you ready? Good. The President doesn't arrive.
I know it's scripted to happen today, derp.
Glad you could join us. Most of my men are already. We've got the plan. So I'll be overseeing this. It's a good bet that the Legion will do. Once you're... Morning.
Oh, wrong door. We got the wrong door in Hoover Dam. Like always, without fail. No. Now, I know what they do. First time I was a bit paranoid for someone coming. But this...
I'm so excited about the President visiting.
One of these engineers are a shifty one. I think it's that one. Yeah, there is one thing you should never bother looking at when you're dealing with Legion, and that's women. Because they don't like... You know, because they're sexist bastards.
Only engineers and authorized... No one can go upstairs with... Only NCR engineers or people with...
Oh yeah, it's got around to grab that mission.
Have you finished your security? Looks like that's his vertebra. Now if you'll excuse...
Let's see. Alright. Bear Force 1 approaching.
We need to keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
Talking about anything suspicious. The problem is, as long as I can get to the, you know, the question is, has this guy been replaced yet? I can't say.
Nothing is going to happen to the President on my watch.
As soon as this guy takes aim.
Report. Quit goofing off and clear the channel. I'll be dead.
Uh-oh. Why was I going open close line? Oh, really? I've never actually done this without the radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming out here today for this very special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the President of the new California Republic, Aaron Kimball.
Thank you, fellow Californians. Who have come so far after the call.
Okay, apparently that was the real one. Okay, I shot the... So Goggle Man is the real one. You know, I just was shooting and shot the right one, and apparently he was the real one. What's funny is he would probably win the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming out here today for this very special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the President of the new California Republic.
Okay, so Goggle Man's the real one, so shoot this.
I knew I should have been an actress.
Okay! That's weird. You know, one of these is clearly a fake, and yet, no matter which one you shoot, the other one, the NCR is involved. So, do I have to wait for one of them to get killed first?
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the President of the new California Republic, Aaron Kimball.
Thank you, fellow Californians. Who have come so far to answer the call the service put forth by the Republic. It is for you.
There goes the real one.
And it is because of you that I am able to do so. We enjoy our work because you take the greatest of risks and are prepared.
Okay, so that's a sniper dealt with.
It is because men and women like Private First Class Jeremy Watson that Nevada and the new California Republic remain free.
I was going to deal with bomb on the vertebrate.
Born in a tin shack on the outskirts of one pine, Jeremy Watson never had it easy.
And then you got to stand in the crowd to stop this shooter going off.
And his mother, like many Californians,
no one can go upstairs without...
world as a prospector.
Okay.
They suffered through water shortages, raider attacks, and the Brotherhood War. Like our mighty Sierra Nevadas, they endured. But the time came.
Now, the one thing you don't do is report your findings, because he calls us off.
12 years ago, they called out for help, and the Republic heard them. Troopers, rangers, just like
It's
you, answered the clarion call.
Do you mind?
Men and women stepped forward to say,
Yes.
I carry the weight. And at Owen's Lake, we made true on our promise, driving out the raider tribes to establish a lasting peace in the eastern Sierra Nevadas.
Oh, the double echoing of the police PA system.
Many of our brothers and sisters on that battlefield, it did not break us. 10 years ago, Chief Elise met with representatives of the Desert Rangers to discuss terms.
Okay, why?
What would become
A mid?
the Ranger
Why do they have a mid box of a mid on their
The
helmet?
treaty was more than a resolution to welcome the Desert Rangers into the Republic.
Double.
To protect Southern Nevada against Caesar's Legion and the tyranny of his regime. There are some back home who ask me, but who
Yes,
are
it's definitely him. Look at that.
what is the man?
You can tell me that isn't the obvious stuff.
Sometimes we forget that the light of our
Yeah,
society shines.
Nice face, nice
beyond
face.
our words.
Evil eyes.
Sometimes
Evil
we take
eyebrows.
those privileges for granted that our forebears fought so hard to achieve. We must always remember that wherever Californians stand, we carry our principles with us.
Do you mind?
Equal respect, representation, and protection under the laws of a just republic.
Hello?
This was the same fire that burned in the heart of the old world that preceded us.
Yes, just block his face.
We are the heirs of that civilization. Torch bearers eastward of the Pacific.
Oh dear, Kimball, just keep going.
When the Republic called on the men and women of California to carry that
Come
fire
on.
across the Mojave, Jeremy Watson answered.
You get more than enough time to deal with the story.
Together you carried the weight. And when PFC Watson's platoon came under attack at Forlorn Hope, he took the greatest risk. Not only for his fellow Californians, but for California itself. He was prepared to make the most noble of sacrifices to defend the principles of our republic.
So now if you don't stand in the crowd, this guy whips out pistol and attacks.
To all of us who stand here today in tribute to his valor. Private First Class Jeremy Watson, on behalf of the Senate and people of the new California Republic, it is my honor to present you with the Star of Sierra Madre. Not far from this spot, a monument stands as a tribute to the sacrifice made by those who came before us. The men and women who fulfilled the promise we made to the Desert Rangers. Its back is inscribed with the names of the troopers and rangers who carried the weight. And because they made the most noble of sacrifices, it did not break us.
Ugh.
4 years ago,
Bloody hell, the speech goes on.
4 years ago, we carried the weight. 4 years ago, we drew a line through the Mojave as clear as the Colorado River. A line that Caesar cannot cross. Today, you stand here with our brothers and sisters to hold that line. Today, you honor all Californians by carrying that weight. Today, you are the way
come on!
push ever eastward. You are the sequoias rising from the Sierra Nevadas, defiant and enduring. You are the great western light of California.
Bloody hell, Kimball.
Torchbearers in the darkness, living reminders of all that is best in our republic. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, notice he's the only one not clapping.
What the hell are you waiting for? I want to get shot. Let's go.
Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind?
I did remove the bomb, didn't I? I don't have to sit through that again. So they cleverly put that cliff there so you don't see it shrink into the distance.
Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind?
Yes, I do mind.
What do you need?
Paladin Todd is still here. Who is technically, I think, actually NCR. Where the hell's Colonel Morg? Oh, yes. She's actually behind me.
Is the president safe? Good. His death could have had a major impact. While you were out, General Oliver arrived and briefed. I'm not at liberty to divulge what was said. He set up his camp in the office area at the south end of this power plant. Dismiss.
That's the end. Well. It's like, to be honest, to win the battle, you don't even really need anything. Bloody, where's that fucking door? So you don't really need any backup whatsoever. It's one of those weird things where you don't need any sort of backup whatsoever to do it. Because it's not actually that big a battle. It's something that Fallout 4 New Vegas could really improve on. You know, it's going to really improve on. It's just making Battle of Hoover Dam better. Also, to my knowledge, they're making it so you don't, like, you know, once you've done it, you've done it. You just don't, you know, it's not a game over, that's it. You've got to go back in time now. No, it's, I'm pretty sure they're making it so you can continue after it ends. But of course, nothing really happens. Oh, phone call.
Probably die of natural causes eventually anyway.
Wrong number. Honestly, I have nothing against people who get the wrong numbers on a phone. You just put, you know, so as long as they're polite about it, I have nothing against them. You know, it happens. That's the only time I ever go, the hell? This is a strange place for a lake lurk to be. Really strange place for a lake lurk. Look at it and know it's HD. NMC's texture pack and some of the sorted creature packs really do help. The people who made HD textures for New Vegas have really helped it. I mean, it's still stiff and awkward, but as you can see, it's not the frame rate. Just, you know, why have I got it set to 30? I do want, probably because it doesn't actually keep it stable. That's probably why. I'd rather have a stable 30 than an unstable 50. It's just I'm sure I have mine limited set to 45 though. Sometimes it's better just to have melee ammo if you're doing stuff. And sometimes it's best just to spin. Actually, best case is to actually open console up, strangely. So I'm sure if I were to set to different. Was that Oblivion I set to 54? I'm sure I'm sure EMB comes with a limiter. Or it could be that VSync locks it to 30 in New Vegas, I don't know. I'm not seeing any. So I'm not actually seeing anything. I swear EMB had something for frame rate. Oh well, if New Vegas can't even maintain a stable 30, well, you know, I swear I have EMB limiting my frame rate in some... Maybe it was Oblivion I have it limiting my frame rate to 45. Who knows? I say I don't care about ridiculous frame rate, but... I'm just wondering what... I say I really don't care about it, but... it's kind of worrying that it's dropping at 30, but then again it is New Vegas and the engine is not designed for HD. But I swear EMB has a limiter in it. Oh, it's bugging me now. It's really bugging me. That's just memory. Effect. Color correction, no. Night day, no. Adaptation, no. Bloom, no. Lens, no. Ambient occlusion, no. Environment, nice. Field, no. Quartz, no. Rays, no. Particles, no. Fire, no. Light, no. Weird. Unlike, oh, I get it. Yeah, FPS limit 55. But it's never going above 30. That's funny. I swear I said it at 55. That's where I tend to sit it. As I don't know if this is a 50 or 60 Hz monitor. It is British, so it's probably 50. But who knows? I don't know. So I tend to set things to 55. Any higher is just putting unnecessary strain on your hardware. Have it, the ideal frame rate is your refresh rate. So, in most people's cases, if in American cases, that would always be 60. For the most part. Some people have these ridiculous frame rate monitors, but the only time a ridiculously high frame rate really higher than your refresh rate is even remotely useful is things where, like, microsecond reactions are a thing. Online gaming, I don't understand why, because 99% of the time your internet connection is by far going to be the thing that lets you down. I was aiming for the legs by default, like why? Oh wow, that one's cowering like a little bitch. Oh my god, and this is the mighty fearless legion, and they're cowering like little bitches. See, the Enclave armors was doing its job. It was designed to scare. Wasn't that not protective, but it's designed to scare, and it definitely scared these guys into pissing their pants. So, I always love watching the Legion suffer. It's delightful. You treat my gender like shit, I treat you like shit and laugh at every misfortune. Yeah, there's no wonder why this caravan guard got killed when his weapon was a cleaver. Yep, the fiends are battling again. I do kind of like how the only... how the only reason the NCR ever wins the fight is just because they just have more. They have it just like almost machine gun-like fire rates.
With House dead, we'll have Vegas annexed before the year's out.
Well, there goes another fight with them. Oh, fiends. Kinda dumb. But that's what you get for being drugged up. One of them got a Remington. I do love when a slug connects and it just destroys. I do love when shotguns connect, they always make this glorious boom. Except in Fallout 4, where I actually had to buff the damage of shotguns because they were hilariously weak. Double barrel. Even if it's best, which require quite high perks, you know, quite high in the crafting perks to get up, you know, to get it in that state, it was still a bag of shit. No matter what you know, so I buffed its damage quite considerably. Combat shotguns more about spamming rounds fast. It's less powerful per shot, but it's also about spamming rounds fast. Ah, the Immortal and the... Now, I know for a fact that Capital Wasteland's got these assets already. I'm sure Junda's churned them out in like a day. Because it's Junda's. Junda's works ridiculously fast. You know, I've never seen someone create assets that fast. But I'm sure it was Junda's who made like this sort of tile set.
Hey,
you know, and obviously they're quite, as you can see, they're in New Vegas as well. So I'm wondering if that's one of the assets they'll share with New Vegas, because there is asset sharing going on between them now. Now, for the longest time, for quite a while, there was some bad blood between New Vegas and Capital Wasteland, which a lot of it stemmed from Cascadia, which had very bad relations with New Vegas, and I think they still have quite poor relations with them. Yeah, but I know with Capital Wasteland they've sort of patched it up a bit because the few problem people in New Vegas, sort of something happened and there's now actually dialogue between them. It's always good because, you know, sharing especially when New Vegas and Fallout 3 kind of, you know, used a hell of a lot of Fallout 3 assets. So they could take the load of both of them by, say, creating one set of assets. You know, one team creates one set of assets, the other creates another, and it, you know, can both use each other's asset sets. You know, it should go a lot faster with sharing assets. There's so many of them. You know, the only thing with Almost Perfect is you've got to make sure to do Lonesome Road before you get all the bobbleheads. Because if you have all special at 10, and the end of the Lonesome Road when you get to pick a special point, you are actually fucked. It can't comprehend the fact that you've got all 10 special, because in New Vegas you kind of can't. You can have quite high in all special, but in vanilla you cannot have maxed out special. For all for all of them. I mean, I'm just trying to think which ones are the ones you don't. I think you want like most of them at 9 rather than any at 10. But of course, you can get the implants for each one. So it is possible to get them quite high in New Vanilla. This is including DLC Vanilla. At least I know I'm going to build any more forces. I can do battle for Hoover Dam now. This must be the bootlegging shack. And this is something I hope Fallout 4 New Vegas sort of does something about. I mean, they seem to be showing signs of doing that. I mean, they are, like, the big expansive of absolutely nothing.
For the Brotherhood.
The new Cazadors. I don't think it touched me. I think I was fortunate. Where the hell did she pick that up from? Oh, I got hit. Ew. In fact, that some are skeletons and some are like fresh corpse. I mean, like fresh corpse, and the Cazadors had been feasting their latest victim. They dragged them back there and feasted because they're evil. I say that something I hope Fallout New Vegas does, and they do seem to have some. They've said they would, and I've seen like distinct signs of it. I mean, they have like actual, like more open houses, etc., like more interesting ruins, stuff like that. But I hope they do something about the big expanses of nothing and the stupid as fuck invisible walls. Fallout 3's invisible walls didn't bug me because they were to separate the city zones. And it was a performance-related thing. Something Fallout 4 really could have actually done with, because inner Boston is horrendous. Oh, it's actually the ranger that's not actually in the ranger station. Derp-a-derp. One that goes out on patrol.
No run-ins with the Great Khans, I hope. You must be mistaken. I haven't filed any report. If someone is saying I filed that report, that's a load of crap.
Oh, great. Go back to bloody Forlorn Hope again. How many times do I have to go out there? And all this is just stop like the NCR absolutely getting absolutely decimated in certain places in that blue slideshow at the end. I mean, Battle for Hoover Dam is so anticlimactic. At least the Liberty Prime assault in Fallout 3, felt grand, even if it kind of wasn't. Well, Hoover Dam just feels really small, like, this is a big battle that's been built up for the entire game, and it's pathetic and tiny. A really small scale. It's really quite unimpressive. Because the engine simply couldn't handle it. Obviously, the Liberty Prime assault took place over many, many cells, so it could, you could look. It looked a lot bigger. It looked a lot bigger than it was. It's a beneficial thing. But one of the things Fallout was one of those fiend leaders. Rather than just being a generic bombed-out building, it was actually like this power plant sort of thing, and rather than like just generic bombed-out building. I think it was Driving a Fire's hideout they showed, which I'm going to try, which is one of these, and I remember because I couldn't recognise it because it was that different, because it wasn't just like this generic bombed-out building. You've actually tried to add some... Because there's Cook, because there's a bloody Brahmin. No, I think that might be Cook Corpse. No, this is Fiend. That's a Fiend's head. Yeah, so I think this was what... I think this is Cook's camp. Obviously that's that caravan site one was Violet. Yuck. Radical. Whoa, radical, man.
Over here.
Oh my. A coyote. Oh no, it's a bean guard dog. One of the... It's dead, whatever it was. It was a... Oh, not again. Sorry about that. At least that one was actually called for... At least that one was actually called for me. Well, not really for me, it was actually for my mother, but... It was my sister calling about something, so... something like that. You know, But at least I could actually do something with that call. It wasn't just like a, sorry, wrong number. Thankfully, that didn't seem to happen too much. But... I mean, I'd much rather have a call from someone I know than some random git trying to sell me something. Hell, I'd even have the complete stranger just wrong number me than have a bloody wrong, the whole trying to sell you shit ones. I think this was driving a ice camp. Look how boring and generic it is. I mean, it's just a generic bit of walls and a bit of corrugated tin. Which, my knowledge of corrugated tin tells me that there's no way that this would be structural. Walking on that, unless that is like the best corrugated roofing ever, that will collapse as soon as you stepped on it. It's not strong. Gotta run across the Mojave again. Whee! Always gotta love running across the Mojave. I mean, you can... now I know more about New Vegas' development, hence it was a bit rushed. I mean, what is here is quite impressive considering that I know that it was rushed, but... like, there's big expanses with absolutely nothing of interest in them. Not a wrecked car, not a creature, not even a harvestable plant in this cell. There's absolutely nothing. There's, in like this massive cells, there is absolutely nothing of interest. I think that's the biggest problem in New Vegas, is the world is just so just empty. I mean, it reflects the Mojave, but Vegas could have been a bit more spread out than this. There could be at least a creature den or something, or some post-war structure. Anything. I mean, this is more interesting, a radioactive cesspool. But, then back into the expanse of nothing, which is sort of what plagues New Vegas. It is a bit more interesting, it's a bit rough. Still, no creatures, no harvestables. There's very little of anything. Fallout 4, I think there's a little too much. The world could have done with being, quite a bit bigger. Fallout 4's world is a little too small, and most of it is just very densely packed. Doesn't help that there's a big expanse of ocean with nothing in it. Well, which is odd because I get a distinct impression there was supposed to be a big underwater vault, complete with quests called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or some or 20 Leagues Under the Sea. Something, you know, some sort of reference to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. But with a giant squid attack, some form of underwater harpoon gun, and some underwater vault with a big window, which is a giant squid attack. That's, you know, I found evidence of that in the files. People found a giant squid textures, the harpoon gun. I found an underwater vault door, or like a big hatch, submarine hatch style thing, and a big window in the creation kit. So, you know, people have found the name of the cut quest. You know, there was evidence that it was going to be there, but for some reason it was cut, and as a result, a lot of the ocean is completely pointless. You could argue that the Aqua Boy, Aqua Girl perk also has is also evidence of that by the fact that it provides you the ability to breathe underwater, which seems like a very specific bonus for something that where there's absolutely nothing underwater. Wow, I'm blowing up ants everywhere I go. And that's it. That's the only. This is actually on a more interesting place in New Vegas just so because there's ants. Like it's an ant nest. That's the thing. It should, you know, it's a dry lake bed. It should be boring and empty, but there's harvestables, there's ants. There's actually a lot more stuff here than there was in the bit where I was going. You know, there's quite a bit more here than there was back there. It's disturbing and sad, really. Do more ants.
Uh-oh. That's enough of that.
They've been feasting on this corpse. As to how they got the clothes off, I don't know. I mean, Cazadors, I'm sure that poison would rot them away to nothing, but the ants? Probably burn them off, maybe? Because for some reason, fire ants spit fire, for some reason. I say, but that's the one, you know, I don't know which of these big mod projects I'm actually looking forward to the most, because they all have a different sort of appeal. Oh, that was a huge... Cazadors. I mean...
For the Brotherhood.
I mean, because obviously, as I said earlier in the stream, Sky Oblivion will be a nostalgia festival. But...
Over here.
Sky Oblivion was by far the most nostalgic, because obviously, being my first Bethesda RPG, it holds a special place. Skywind is basically a whole new game. Because I've played through in More Oblivion once, and let's just say More Oblivion is a bit of a clunky fucker. It's Tale of Two Wastelands is really well done. It's beautifully implemented. You know, it fits right in. It even makes some. It even tries to, you know, have a lore link between them. That the Vault Lone Wanderer, I think it is in Fallout 3, he is then moves west and then becomes Courier 6. You know, at least, you know, that sort of works because it is so many years later. But you know, but More Oblivion was rough, very rough. You know, it broke down on a few points, and it didn't make, like, the world still looked pretty awful. The only difference was the NPCs didn't look like ass. So, swing them roundabouts. Morrowind's world can be made to look nice with mods, but holy crap, its NPCs always look like ass. Like, always. No matter what you do. They look like blockheads. That's what
Welcome back. I knew it. Every one of the false reports was signed off by Chief Hanlon at Camp Golf. But why would the Chief manipulate the reports? I need you to take everything we found to Chief Hanlon and confront him with it. I don't want to make this public unless we have to.
To Camp Golf. Why can't I just use the radio? That's such a foreign concept. You know, I went around distributing all these security codes. Why can't I use the radio? Oh look, another expanse of nothing. You know, there could be creatures out here, like a nest of geckos or something, but no, there's nothing. It's like random encounters. Oh, Lord. Oh, Grant goes all loddy. You know, there could be so much here, but there's like nothing. Oh no, radical scorpions. Got a bloody 12mm machine guns from somewhere, and you know, that's a 50 cal machine gun. That's ridiculous. No, it'd be the 50 cal like pistol style rounds rather than the 50 cal big ass machine gun rounds, but still, that's a bloody big round. The bird. Now, birds showing up on the compass is just annoying. But I actually get XP from killing them, so... I don't remember his doggy. So the problem with New Vegas is definitely this empty world. You know, and the main story is weak. The side quests are solid. I really like the side quests. They're memorable, they're fun, apart from vault crawling. You know, they're memorable though. But the main story is pretty weak. You know, if the Battle of Hoover Dam wasn't so anticlimactic and wasn't just that's it, dead end, it would be a bit better, but it just feels like you don't have much importance to anything. I've just never liked New Vegas' story. I've always felt it was a bit weak. But obviously its side quests and side stories are much better. You know, with people shit on Fallout 4's story, at least something happens at the end of it. Say with Fallout 3's, at least something happens with it. You know, you're led up to a point, and it bookends it nicely, while New Vegas just sort of ends. It sort of, you don't have the investment in Battle of Hoover Dam. You're just a fucking courier. You have no, there's no personal involvement in it whatsoever. I mean, I like the more open character, but that's about the only benefit. But the problem is the main story is just kind of boring, lacking, and boring. Definitely, it's saved by the side quests. I mean, this stream wouldn't have gone half as long if it wasn't for the side quests. Where the hell is he? Where the hell is he when you want to? Oh. Bed sharing.
I'm occupied at the moment.
They clearly just sleep in whatever bed's nearby. Oh, I can never remember what a bloody balcony is. I don't know if it is this balcony or the other balcony. Oh no, he's just moved to another bed. Oh dear. What is he doing? Oh dear. Let's move him outside, shall we? Now he should be on the balcony. Obviously, when you disappear from the big bed, they clearly just sleep in whatever's available. They don't have assigned bunks.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feel, but if you're here long enough, it starts to... You must be the courier folks have been talking about. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up, but it sounds... Hold on. Don't worry.
Why did he get out of that chair sideways? You know, he should have got out forward so he didn't clip with it badly. And is that what I think it is? Yes, I think that is supposed to be a duct tape repair. Because the most useful tool in the entire universe is duct tape. Binds the universe together. Oh, really? Oh, whoa! That's the floor. Why is that like a hole in the rug? Must be a hole in the rug. I mean, at least they placed a table over the other one, but not that one.
We won't go quietly.
Well, the ghouls. You'll sign one of those outside radiation
the Mojave
zones.
almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Smart hey. The king's the bad.
Oh dear. They had to stop to say, hey.
You saved President Kimball, didn't you? Hell of a thing.
He's got a Ranger Sequoia. He's got a nice weapon.
Sorting and manipulating intel. This job isn't all gunfighting and gulping shots of wit. You have you? Misdirection. Misdirection.
Yeah, but you don't misdirect your allies. You misdirect your enemies.
Saved us at Hoover Dam. But it's been... He's closer now than he ever was before. It's never gonna end. This fight with Caesar.
Caesar is dead. I killed him myself.
Young men and women are in. The Legion is the worst enemy we've ever faced. More than anyone cares to count up.
Give him a few years and the Legion will
even
crumble.
If we do stop it, I don't see how we're... People back home don't listen. They don't care. It's been so many years that
corrupt democracy at its finest.
Conscription brings in fresh... And even if we hold this dam, patrol the whole length of the Colorado for creating fear and instability among the troops. It took some people getting killed to realize I'd gone too far. First thing that comes to mind is to turn me in. But even if your heart's in the right place, Oliver can't stand that Rangers got credit for victory at Hoover. He put them right on the western part of the dam. If the troopers fall back, and they will, the Rangers will... It's a gamble either way. Even with Caesar gone. For our sake, I hope you're right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna walk out that door and pretend we never had this talk.
Monster of the East, huh? Well, I've got the Monster of the West in my holster right now. Hope I get to introduce them. You saved President Kimball.
You have a pathetic 357 pistol. Yeah, that's not really a monster of the West. That is a monster of the West. That Ranger Sequoia is an evil thing. The amount of damage that thing can do is ridiculous. You know, that is truly one of the ridiculous god weapons. You know, it's like top tier weapon, that. It really is a ridiculously powerful weapon. Let's see if I can't help Misfits Squad number 542 or whatever they are. Hole 1, hole par 4.
Smart move for the Kings to back down. They didn't. Y'all sure are a big old hero. I gotta.
Okay, it's not him.
They were messing with.
Not Spaz.
Oh shit! Here comes the brown nose. We don't talk too much. Well, Hanrahan's a big pussy. Ain't good for shit in a fight. And Mags, well, whatever. Not like I need it.
Okay, so not Spaz. I tried her before. Maybe it's Poindexter. You know, cool nickname.
I'm assuming you aren't associated with the arm in a strictly. However, as I am by far the most intelligent and resourceful figure on this, I suppose if you must stick with your narrow, parochial view of in-charge.
Ego. Ego bigger than this tent. Oh, I can never actually find a bloody squad. Maybe I should try a big tent.
Go quiet. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear.
Modular tent, if you will. I swear this tent is modular. I don't think it's one unit. I think it's actually a modular thing. Yeah.
I've been hearing some rumors from the embassy that Mr. House has gone quiet all of a sudden. I've been here since the first push into Vegas. Back in the day, these days I spend most of my time trying to beat a little discipline into. Yeah, well, somebody has to wrangle those washouts and losers. Disappointed. We call them the Misfits for a reason. They're on. The squad leader's got some promise. Kid named Matt. I'm going to make them shape up if it kills me, though. You're welcome to try. Hell, maybe they'll listen.
There we go. Is that actually my active questy? Yes. Now, Poindexter, I think I can just talk to him with intelligence.
Morning. You've managed to become extraordinarily well-liked by the top right. That seems highly alarming. This is an unexpected variable. And how would you an intriguing.
Cheating is always the
Company
way to
readiness
win.
reports are logged on the computer systems at the resort. If you hack such an attempt, however, is likely to thwart efforts.
Yeah, his is the cheat option. I think it's Mag's the proper way to do this one.
Hello.
Actually have
Radio says you stopped the president's assassin cold. Not bad. He did, huh? Well, good luck. Well, if you ask me, what we really need is to... I'm sure the others have their own ideas. Are you sure? I've got enough clout to get them started. You're the boss.
Yeah, because you want to train these guys because they sort of end up defending. They're actually quite, you know, surprisingly integral to like the defense of this shithole. It's funny because like the army of rangers in there surely would be better. You know, leave one ranger with a bloody anti-materiel rifle in it. I'm sure it could take out everything. Model so slowly. Guns glitched into my back. That happens every so often. Of course, I have a gasp of British class. You know, I have my Lee Enfield for a reason. And not just because it's actually a good sniping rifle.
Okay, everybody's lined up. You heard the lady people. I've got the one at 11 o'clock. Raz, O'Hanrahan, take the two. Right. Thanks for the help. I think the whole...
Wish I could have been...
A bunch of units just got mobilized. It helped, but we still got a grenade. After the help you gave us at the shooting range, we'll take...
Oh great, I'm not very good with explosives. Then again, you don't need to be...
Okay, we've got our dummy grenade. Right, easy enough. One.
That's funny, because don't pitch it like a baseball. Which is funny, because that's exactly how American grenades were designed. To be thrown like a baseball.
Solid arc. Check. Lob them up and over, people. What the... What? You've got a funny definition of well, you know that?
It's like, it's kind of odd that that's exactly how American grenades were designed. It was to be thrown like they, on the logic that someone could throw a baseball, they could throw a grenade. That's
wow.
sort of the logic.
The big celebrity down here with... Not even a little bit. Okay.
Fucking explosive skill up.
Smart move for the Kings to back down. They didn't know who they were messing with.
Ugh. I mean, it doesn't take that much skill to throw a fucking grenade. Why is that still there? Mr. House is dead. We'll do this. Go do quests to get level XP, because there's like no enemies in New Vegas to shoot. Oh, hello, Wolfie Girl. Sorry, I didn't notice that when it came up. I'm kind of getting used to the fact that I don't get much chat in streams. That's, sorry, I had to grenade that. It was a case of it. There was just too many of them not to. It's one of those cases where you just see a big pack of enemies, you just have to lob that grenade in. Yeah, they do explode very easily. Yours is a big horner. Oh, sorry, time. Oops. Let's just find a position in the... I'm going to hold F because it's New Vegas and it's a bit weird. Savey. I will do Battle of Hoover Dam, obviously, but it's just not a priority. So I'm doing the side quests that help it first. Then I'll obviously do the quest. But that is the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. Subscribe or donate if you want. Got to turn trippy mode off. That's the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. Subscribe or donate if you want. Goodbye.